Welcome to New Friends Cinema,
where we get to know each other by sharing our favorite movies.
From childhood throwbacks to recent comforts, we walk through the stories together.
Keep in mind this podcast contains mad spoilers, and join us at the New Friends Cinema. Hello, and welcome back to New Friends Cinema.
Hello.
I'm Courtney.
Oh, I'm fucking so stressed out. I'm Dakota.
We just made it through technological difficulties.
Yeah, and usually we have all the time in the world to fucking shoot the shit, but not today,
Not
so
today.
it was extra stressful.
Yep.
But we're here. We're queer.
We are
Get
queer.
used to it.
Preach. Okay. Well, how are you doing now that we've sorted that out? You took your lap.
Yeah.
You changed your shirt. We're good.
Yeah. Now I'm allowing myself to have the caffeine.
Yes.
During the meltdown, I was like, this is the last thing
no.
that I need.
Bad news bears. Do not have caffeine during a technological difficulty moment. Prob came in, saved the day. I think you both saved the day, and I was here supporting.
But legitimately, we would not have a podcast without him. Because when I was fucking with the hardware, I unplugged the mouse.
I think that worked.
To see. I didn't know. I just was like, I think it's this cord. Unplugged it. Didn't work. It was the mouse.
Yep.
So for that side.
Yeah. And you came in with the software.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would be like such a great hacking team.
Oh. Yeah. That's actually very cute. Like some kind of Bond movie with like a cute couple like you and Prob just like in the background, the computer, the chair people. That's what the common.
Is that what they call them?
That's what they call them.
I mean,
the guy in
I
the chair.
am a chairperson. So that makes sense.
Oh, I have to tell you a funny story.
Okay, yeah, do it.
Okay.
But keep it tight.
Okay. So last night I was walking home after going to a friend's place, and we've recently had more snow, which is fine, but it gets hella slippery in the streets, and like walking down the hills are super slippery. So I am like penguin walking down this like steep ass hill, and it's not late. It's like 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock. I'm coming home, ready to watch the movie. And this man, so, you know, at my street, there's like a pretty big intersection and there's a lot of lights.
Yeah.
So, I'm walking down the street, like penguin walking, going, ooh, 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 don't slip, don't slip. And this man is like on his phone at the bottom of the hill. And he looks a little inebriated, which is fine. But then the second he gets to the bottom of my hill, he starts booking it. And I mean sprinting at me.
You?
At me.
That's
a
nightmare.
I know. And at first we scan the environment all times at night, right? Like I'm scanning, I'm like, oh, there's a person there, clocking it, just seeing if danger, Will Robinson. And I was like, okay, this guy, it's fine. And then he books it at me and I'm like, it's 28 days later. I'm going to die. Like, immediately. Fodder. Immediately had this, like, because he was, it was super slippery, so he was like slip and sliding and his arms were like flailing. And then I'm like, okay, be cool. And we get to the point where we're like crossing mid steep hill and he's like, careful, it's slippery. And I'm like, yeah, have a good night. And he was just like on his phone and I think a little drunk and slipping around.
He had to take a run at it to make it up this hill.
I think that's what it was, but it was...
That's terrifying. There is a railing.
There's a
railing because it's steep.
And don't approach a person in the dark running full speed. Like, there's just a little bit of self-awareness when it comes to walking alone at night. And
yeah, especially for menfolk.
Yeah.
You know,
like it's just
like you gotta be aware that you are scared.
Totally.
Right.
But it was just hilarious how immediately I was like, it's a rage zombie. I'm going to die. Where's my weapon? I had like my book from book club ready to go.
Instead of the bag of Pepsi cans, it's your bag of books.
Bag of books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But I survived. I made it home. I watched the movie. Here we are.
And I mean, I am becoming a very reliable source of rom-coms.
I agree.
Here I am yet again coming in clutch.
Oh yeah.
After a very scary, emotionally wrought week.
Traumatizing to the point where, like, alone at night, I'm still thinking about it.
Also, someone recently asked me, and I know they didn't mean it to be rude, but I was kind of like, okay. But someone asked me, so are you guys ever going to do like modern movies, or are you just going to do movies between the years of 1997 to 2002? And I was like, we'll see.
Luck of the draw.
Right? Like, that, but also, like, it's of our age. Like, if I was born in 2005, then the movies we'd be doing would have come out in 2016 or something, right? Like,
totally.
That being said, today's movie, I was like, oh, here we go.
A modern movie.
We're doing Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which came out in 2008.
Which is almost 20 years old. Which blows my effing mind.
I'm like, and honestly, I think 2008 might be as modern as mine are gonna get. Maybe 2011. I don't know. So, here we are.
I still think 10 years ago was the 90s.
Dude.
For real, though.
So, should we just jump in?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm
so excited.
I'm gonna be really quick on this too and just say, like, 2008, I was in high school.
I just left high school.
Yeah, and I don't remember the first time I saw this movie. This isn't like a classic to me in the way that other ones we've done.
Oh, like sentimental.
Yeah. This is just a really fun, funny movie that I return to every couple of years, and it always makes me laugh.
There's some silly, goofy, doofy, amazing moments in this movie. I'm so excited.
I love Jason Segel too. I really do, and
he's
I love
perfect for this movie.
Well, didn't he write this movie? I'm pretty sure he wrote this movie. I didn't check. Him and somebody else, but this is his movie, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Which makes sense because there's like the Muppet theme, and he loves the Muppets. He loves Jim Henson, that kind of thing. So
that makes sense now.
And he was in the Muppet movie, the more like 2006, the more recent one, 10 years ago.
The one 20 years ago.
I didn't actually watch it either, or maybe I did. I don't know. I'm a bit of a Muppet purist, if we're being honest. So, so lead actors in this movie: Jason Segel, Kristen Bell, Mila Kunis, Russell Brand. We also get cameos by Paul Rudd, Bill Hader, Jonah Hill, Jack McBrayer.
Is that the guy from 30 Rock?
Yeah.
God, he's so good in this.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
He does a lot of stuff on Big Bob's Burgers too.
Oh yes,
he does
definitely.
Voice for him. Yeah.
Classic voice actor.
Yeah. So what about
A-list celebrities?
Yeah. I feel like he's just got his pals together.
It is a pal movie for sure. You can imagine the outtakes. You can imagine the improv.
I love a movie where you can tell that they had so much fun making it.
Yes.
I don't know if that's something you can tell about me.
Yeah. No, not at all.
It was directed by Nicholas Stoller. He did Neighbors, Get Him to the Greek,
and
Bros.
Muppet movies.
Yeah, a lot of Jason Segel stuff, Russell Brand stuff, like that, comedies and stuff. So, this is also probably the highest rated movie I will ever do. It's got an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is fucking crazy.
I thought you meant like rating as in like rated R.
Oh, well, maybe.
There's a lot of full frontal nudity in this.
I love the full frontal male nudity.
The schlong,
I mean, it's like, but it's like, yes, for equal representation.
A lot of, white men butt.
Yeah, and just like a normal body. Yeah. Like, just show me a normal body.
Please.
Yeah, that's great. What about you?
Oh, yes. Okay, so this movie was definitely a replay. I don't think I returned to this movie very often. That's why it was so, I was so tickled to like watch it again, because I genuinely forgot a lot about it, other than the fact that they break up and then they're in Hawaii together, which is so cringe.
But he did it to himself too.
Oh, yes. And it's like the gags, the bits. I love Jason Segel. Like, he's so goofy doofy. I'm noticing a theme for you, like a sweet, soft, kind man going through a heartbreak. Like, this is a bit of a theme for Dakota.
I love to see men cry.
I love to see them cry and then have character development and end up with the girl.
Yeah.
I also noticed at various times in this movie that I am Pete a little bit, like just the way that he's like talking to himself in the mirror. There's a series of sweatpants scenes that he's in. I'm currently wearing my favorite pair of sweatpants that has not one, not two, but 3 holes in them. I refuse to give it up. But yeah, you genuinely are on such a fun, heartbreaking, relatable ride with this.
There are a lot of really like intimate scenes of heartbreak and like the breakup stuff, and it's more dynamic than like she's evil.
No, it's
you
so
know,
real.
like the characters, I mean not all of the characters, but some of the characters are very like well-rounded.
Yeah.
And you have been one of them.
Totally. And you don't hate her.
No.
And you don't hate him. You see literally both of their perspectives as why they're in that position that they're in, and you kind of just like want the best for both of them, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know?
A little more for Pete, but it's also his point of view. It's his movie, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, she did some shitty things.
She'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, she'll be... should we start?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So the movie opens with Love You Madly by Cake.
Oh, Shout out Ty, one of his favorite bands.
I was gonna say, yeah. Actually, this whole soundtrack, it's so funny to me because it firmly puts me in 2014.
Yes.
Even though it's not 2014 music, Cake, The Shins, the other, like, sad English band. I was at the time working at a used bookstore, and we did use CDs and stuff too. Oh. And this was like the playlist of my life, 2013 to 2015. Like,
the first gift I ever got Ty was a Cake album.
Comfort Eagle?
I can't recall.
Oh.
But he was like, "You're meant to, like, we're meant to be." Like I read his mind or something.
Aww.
It was really sweet.
That's romantic.
It is romantic.
So we open with Love You Madly by Cake. Nude Jason Segel flexing his pecs in the bathroom mirror. We see photos of him and Sarah, played by Kristen Bell, all around this house. It's a cozy little nice house. You can tell that they're thoroughly enmeshed, right? By how much
years together.
Yeah, years together. He makes himself in a normal bowl.
A normal bowl? Did you slip there, Dakota?
That's the size of bowl of cereal my big brother used to make, so maybe I meant to say a completely normal sized bowl. It's a huge bowl of cereal. And he's sitting at the piano, then he's at the drums, and he's just dicking around. He's not doing anything. No. And then eventually he ends up just watching TV. It's like daytime TV. Yeah. The house is very messy. On the TV, it's like entertainment weekly kind of thing, right? Yeah. They're talking about Sarah Marshall's TV shows. So his girlfriend, Sarah Marshall, has a successful crime television show. They're talking about her on TV. And then they mention how Peter's her successful composer boyfriend. He's like tall and kind of mysterious. And, you know, he might not be a household name, but he's, you know, nothing to...
the love of her life.
Yeah, that kind
just
of
like
thing.
A series of shots of them like on the red carpet. And it's just, you can tell that there's history in this relationship by how they're covering it on the show and what we see in the apartment.
Yeah.
My question for you though is, obviously this show, Crime Scene, is like, it's CSI, essentially. Were you a CSI kid?
Yes.
Same.
Vegas.
Oh, pure and true.
Pure.
OG.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Miami every once in a while, because when those sunglasses come off and they, yow!
He's also like the Tom Hanks of television, right? Where he always stands on that Horatio. Is his name Horatio?
Horatio something, yeah.
He always has to stand on a box because he's like 4'11".
Oh, really? Movie magic.
Yeah, I loved Vegas. I think I watched every single episode of Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
After school, I think it would do like 4 to 6. It would do reruns of CSI.
Totally.
Yeah. What was the lady's name? Caroline or whatever, the redhead?
Oh.
She is like the only one who was on the whole time.
Oh.
She's just so iconic to me.
Yeah. She was a great character. I really enjoyed. Anyways, we don't have to get too much into CSI because I think we talked a little bit about CSI in Sleepy Hollow.
The answer is yes. But I never came out with that fact about me. Yes, I was a CSI kid.
Nice. Continue, please.
So after that is an Infant Sorrow music video. This is the band of Eldest Snow, who's played by Russell Brand. I feel like he's just so good at just like making fun of himself. Like it feels like his character is always just like a really exaggerated douchey version of like what I imagine himself.
Like. Yeah, totally.
It's very much, it's like a kind of like a, it reminds me of like a Bob Dylan music video where they would like hold the signs and stuff. It's giving like We Are the World kind of thing.
Imagine like very much like a very important message.
Yeah.
But
it's so tacky. And the signs he's holding up are, how can you read when you are blind? And sodomize intolerance. It's just like different. So
what a moron.
Sarah calls Peter and says that she's coming home. And he's like, oh, I didn't know you were going to be back so soon. He starts rushing to clean the house. He's running around. Peter comes out of the shower in a towel and Sarah is standing there. he opens his towel and shakes his dink at her.
Oh yeah, like the full almost helicopter move, right? Like the whoa, whoa, whoa.
And we think we're gonna get away with not seeing it.
Oh no, we hear it and then we see it.
Yeah. So she breaks up with him.
Oh, while he's naked.
Yeah.
Just schlong out, broken heart.
Yeah. And he just drops his towel. He doesn't know. And then she's just like, just put some clothes on. We can talk about it. And he's like, no, I know what putting clothes on means. It means we're over. Yeah. Like he's like not leaving this room. Kind of thing. So she's just like, okay. Like
the naked, the naked hug.
Oh. So uncomfortable. And she tells him that she feels like they've grown apart and that they're leading different lives. And he's like, tell me who he is. And he's really just like being dramatic at this point.
Yeah.
You know? And then she's like, okay, there is someone else. So he wasn't even like expecting that there was someone else. He was just like,
who is it? And
yeah.
She's like, well,
actually.
Yeah.
So she leaves. He's devastated. He's really devastated. The next scene, he's out at a bar with his brother, who's played by Bill Hader.
Oh, I love Bill Hader.
Me too.
The deadpan.
So Bill Hader asks him if he's okay, and then Peter assures him that he is, and then it's like we flash to Peter at home in a blanket, like sobbing, shrouded, watching Project Runway, drinking Chianti out of a huge water glass, just crying.
Yeah, he's not okay.
Yeah, so it's like they use that a lot in this movie of just like flash to the reality of things. It's so funny. So his brother tells him that he should work on his Dracula musical. So this is the first time we really hear that Peter has other aspirations. Mm-hmm. Peter says that he just needs to have sex.
Yes, I'm quite curious about this immediate move to go like hook up, like this 5-year relationship.
She said there's someone else.
Oh, and that's the motivation. Yep. He needs to go.
I was in a similar situation at one point in time. And I will say that feeling that your ex is like out there fine in someone else's arms while you're like Devo.
Yeah, I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
Sucks.
Yeah.
So that feeling of, I don't want to lose this breakup. I need to go.
It's got to be even. I've got to feel a little empowered.
I can kind of understand that, even though that's not real. You know, like that's just your heartache. You're traumatized.
Yeah.
You know, but
you're looking to seek some kind of equalizer or power play. Gotcha. But the one line that they're like trying to pick up these women, right?
Okay, yeah. So, but I don't know if you're gonna say this, but you don't need to put your P in a V right now. Is that what you're gonna say?
No, I need to be my.
Yeah. So his brother's like, yeah, you don't need to put your P in a V right now.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, I need to be my L on somebody's T's,
which is similar, I suppose.
I mean, and his brother's just like, I'm out of here. Because his brother's married, he's like stable, and he's really just like trying to help his brother. And he sees him really like on this kind of chaotic, crumbling path.
Yeah.
And I think he just really wants him to like take care of himself. And he's like, this is not how you take care of yourself. Yeah. That's how it comes across to me. So he says he's gonna leave, and then Peter confesses that Sarah was cheating on him.
Yeah.
And then his brother's like, okay, I will be your wingman. He's being so overt about trying to pull.
And he's a little drunk, right? Like, he's
honestly
slurring his words a fair amount.
It might have worked on me at a certain time.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
You know what?
You're funny.
You're so funny. Oh my God, he's so funny.
Laugh.
And her friend is just like, no, shaking her head. But, at least he's saying like, you know what? I'm just got out of a 5-year relationship and I'm in a bad place. I'm not looking for anything serious. You want to go home? You look great. Like, let's do this.
Sex would be a treat for me.
So his brother is very embarrassed by this too. He's just like, fuck. But it works, and he pulls and he hooks up with someone. And after they have sex, I was going to say make love, but that's not what that was. She's like, that was good. And he's like, yeah. And then he just has all these flashbacks of like him and Sarah being romantic over the years.
Like lovey goofy. And then he just immediately starts to cry.
He's crying. The next scene, he's at the doctor's. It's actually his pediatrician. He's concerned that he got an STD. And the doctor basically tells him, snap out of it. You'll be fine. You gotta get that. Just get out there. Like, chill the fuck out. But then we have a little montage of him hooking up with a few different people. And he's not connecting.
No.
It's not going great. he still works doing the score at Sarah's TV show.
Mm-hmm.
So at work, he is really not doing well either.
Well, not only working at the same place as your ex, but like having to see your ex every day on a giant screen while you play ominous tones.
Yeah.
is that would be so hard.
I feel like that's actually like torture, like
Yeah.
something that they would use as torture.
Yeah. Watch your ex.
So he's doing like Seinfeld sounds.
Yeah.
And he just ends up raging out and destroying the projector screen.
Ugh.
So the next, his brother is banging on his door and he comes into the house. The house is a mess. Peter's wearing a robe. He's got a dirty shirt on and he's burning pictures of Sarah in a pot on the stove.
He is in full garbage rat mode. Like heartbreak. It's relatable for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also like, whew, buddy. Get out there.
Who hasn't burned a few pictures though, am I right? Usually it's like with your friends on a full moon with a bunch of candles around.
Lots of wine.
Yeah. Brian, that's his brother's name, tells him that he has got to get his shit together.
Mm-hmm.
Peter says that he's trying, but everything reminds him of her. And then Brian suggests that he goes on a vacation. Peter's like, I'll go to Hawaii. There's a place there that Sarah's always talking about. And Brian's like, don't go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I can't go to Hawaii because Sarah Marshall's heard of Hawaii? Like,
yeah. Fair point. But also, yeah, we'll find out in a minute.
I mean, we wouldn't have this movie if he didn't go.
Exactly.
So he arrives at a resort in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Mila Kunis, who is playing the character Rachel, is checking in a newlywed couple. Okay, their names. It's Jack McBrayer and Maria Thayer.
Mm-hmm.
Or Thayer. The names of these newlyweds are Wyoma and Daryl. Daryl is like the funniest fucking thing I think of. Daryl. Yeah.
I didn't catch that. But they're like madly ooey gooey lovey dovey kissy kissy at the in the lobby. Yeah. And it's not the first thing you want to see as recently broken up.
That's true. Also, she's very lovey-dovey.
Yes.
And he is kind of like,
like
he's nervous about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very obvious that they have not, they're inexperienced. Yeah. So he rolls up to the counter without a reservation.
Honestly, the bold audacity. Just like, I'm here. Serve me, please.
Yeah. The only suite left is $6,000 a night.
Whew. And it's like almost like a romance suite, right? Or
well, she's kind of like, it's really for basically for celebrities. Like nobody really stays there unless like Oprah's in town or whatever. Right. So he's like, oh, I can't afford that kind of thing. And then he sees Sarah like walking up a path outside, and he immediately, like, you start to see he's uncomfortable and stuff, and she's kind of like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. Mila is. And he tells her that that's his ex, because she's like, oh yeah, Sarah Marshall's here, people are excited. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, she's my ex.
She dumped me 3 weeks ago.
And she's like, oh fuck. Right?
Oh.
So Sarah approaches and asks what he's doing there. And he says, I came here to murder you.
Which is obviously a joke, but it's like very scary and creepy.
I feel like that's the most iconic quote from this movie.
Yeah. So awkward, so like, cringe, because she's just like,
Yeah, and then he's just like, just kidding. And she's like, no, really, what are you doing here? Mm-hmm. And he says that he's been having a hard time at home and decided to come here, and look, you're here, so maybe it's... And then Aldous Snow approaches from behind, smacks her on the butt, and he says, there you are, you little sex object.
Oh, the double heartbreak. You can hear it from here. It's, running into your ex, and then running into your ex with the new guy she left you for.
Yeah. And something about Aldous, like his character, I mean, I think everyone's kind of seen like Russell Brand and stuff, but he's got a very fluid way of moving. He's very, like, very sexual and like sexy in like everything that he does, right? So it's he just kind of like saunters up, and he's like the guy that fucks.
Yeah, super touchy, but like in touch with his feelings and emotions, and it's like very much like I'm a spiritual guy inside and out.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of.
Yes, I know.
Relaxed.
Yeah. Trying to convince you that they're like, not even trying it, but they're like, no, I'm a really good person. I'm really in touch. And you're like, are you?
Are you sure?
Yeah. Okay. Aldous is asking Mila if she's seen his lost shoe. And the look on her face is, I just have 2 capital O's next to each other. I know. She's just like, what the fuck? Because she's like seeing this happening.
Yeah. Unfold in front of her eyes.
So Sarah introduces them, and he is just so casual, right? And he asks if Peter's also staying there, and he's about to say no, and then Mila interjects, Rachel, I'm going to start calling her Rachel, interjects and says that she was able to book him the suite for 4 nights. So Aldous invites him to have dinner with them one of the nights. Ooh. So they walk away. Rachel tells him that he can stay in the suite as long as he cleans up after himself, and he's like, why are you doing this for me? She says that it's fucked up that she's already here with somebody else.
Yeah.
You know.
Solid move. That was really nice. To like.
Yeah, I think that even if he didn't end up staying, just that she just was like, you're all good. You know what I mean? Like, she's seeing him being like humiliated like that. So in the next scene, Peter's on the phone with his brother saying that he doesn't want to change hotels, and he's kind of like walking down the like, it's kind of like some of the hotel rooms have like little porches that kind of face onto the beach. Yeah. And there's like this walkway that goes by. He's like walking behind them.
And it looks like he's walking, like following them. Yeah, he's following them. And Bill Hader's character, Brian, is just like, are you following them? He's like, no. And then he like veers off of the path, takes the long way around to still follow them. Oh.
So he says that he doesn't want to change hotels because it's going to look like he's running away. And then at the same time, Sarah and Aldous are having a conversation. And Aldous says that he would understand if she wanted to change hotels. And she says, no, I'm not doing it. So he sees them kissing as he's on the phone with his brother. And his brother tells him, he's like, go, get to your room. Go to your room, Peter. And you can hear, as he pulls the phone away from his ear, you can hear his brother shouting out of the phone. So he knows he's about to do something that he should not, that he will regret. Peter approaches them.
I'm going in.
It's a super awkward interaction.
Oh.
After that, he goes away on the phone with his brother, and his brother's like, did you like that? Did that feel good? Right?
We are all Bill Hader at this moment watching this happen. Like, Bill Hader screaming from the phone, obviously being like, no! Don't do it, Peter! And we're like watching it being, no, Peter, don't do this. Because he's just like, hey, guys.
So he says that it hurt, but he's like, I know Sarah, I'm pretty sure it ruined her day. And then we get this flash to her and Aldous having fucking hilarious acrobatic sex. The last part where he's doing like that the bridge, and she's on top of him, her feet aren't even touching the bed, and she's like screaming.
Because he's like a 6 foot tall man, and she's like a 4 foot, holy fuck, 11 woman. Like,
I just remember the first time, like not the first time seeing that, but I remember when that was new, like that had not been, like, there have been movies now where you see shit like that.
Yes.
But I feel like that was like one of the first movies where they show, like, because they're all covered in stuff, but it's just like
over the top sex.
Fucking funny. So in his suite, he's watching her fucking show on TV, drinking and crying.
He's torturing himself.
He is. And Rachel calls from the front desk and tells him that there have been complaints that a woman is hysterically crying.
It sounds like she's having a really hard time.
At the host desk of the hotel restaurant, Jonah Hill is talking on the phone with somebody, and he's saying that he will sell them weed, but after work, and you know I'm at work. You called me at work, so you have to know I'm busy. So then he, Jonah Hill is so funny in this character.
And just like so, I think this movie encapsulates a really good different blends of cringe. So there's like Peter's version of cringe. There's like Jonah Hill's like ridiculous fawning over Aldous Snow kind of cringe.
He's a parasocial fanboy almost to the scary stalker point.
Yes.
But kept right in that sweet spot where it's funny.
Yes. Exactly. But when Jonah Hill like seats Peter and he's like, do you have like a girlfriend or a partner?
Are you waiting for your wife or your girlfriend?
And he's like, no, it's just me. And he's like, wow, do you want like a magazine or something? Because like eating alone is really boring. I was like, dude, I eat at restaurants alone all the time.
Yeah,
what do you
me
mean?
too.
Like,
I do too.
One of my favorite things.
That. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It must be an introvert thing.
But the way that he goes, so you're alone. And then it's just pause and he's like, sucks. And then he's like, all right, so just one. And he like grabs the, he's like, yeah, do you want a magazine? He's like, I would just be so bored.
Yeah.
And it's just like fucking, I don't know, it's just so funny. He's just roasting Peter so hard.
He's at work in customer service, which is extra hilarious.
It's just like anyone who isn't Aldous, he's like really not a good server to. And then even to Aldous, he's not, because it's the opposite way.
Yeah, too much.
So Peter gets seated facing Aldous and Sarah.
Oh.
And Aldous invites him to sit with them.
No. No.
Jonah asks Aldous how his vegetable medley is, and he says that it's mundane, and then Jonah's like, it is mundane, it's great. So he doesn't know what mundane means. Behind Peter, a couple gets engaged.
I thought of you in the scene where in The Wedding Singer where Robbie is like heartbroken, like singing as the wedding singer at this, and he's just seeing couples around him, like clocking couples in love who are kissing, who are, this just reminded me of that, where when you're broken up with and going through heartbreak, all you see is happiness around you, and you're like, fuck these people, and it's just so blatantly obvious. Oh, because you're also at like a resort in Hawaii, like left, right, and center, people are getting engaged and married or anniversaries. It's the great place to be when you're just broken up.
So Peter leaves. Sarah follows him out and asks if he's okay, and if he followed her there. And he's like, no, people fucking come to Hawaii. At the time, it's not to follow you.
Not everything's about you. And to be fair, if I had gone to a very remote place and then my ex that I had broken up with 3 weeks later just showed up, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing here?
I think that her questions are valid.
Yeah.
I do. I think that his reaction is also valid.
Yeah, because it's obvious that from our perspective that he didn't follow her there. He just wanted a break.
Yeah, but he also, like,
picked a place.
Yeah.
That she was gonna probably be at.
So he goes to the hotel bar, and all the drinks are coming out with a wild amount of fruit.
There's a full banana in that pina colada.
With a fucking half of a lime on the top. Yeah, we know. Yeah. Yes. And his, just as he has more drinks his pile of fruit in front of him just gets like bigger and bigger.
He's getting wasted.
He's getting drunk. He's drunk for a lot of the first half of this.
Oh, yes.
So he's sitting next to Daryl from the newlywed couple.
Daryl.
And it seems like things are not going great sexually for the couple. It's just, it seems like they're very religious, and it seems like Daryl is not very well informed about anatomy and about sexuality, and he's really struggling with, I think, his, not just like the physical how-to, but that emotional, mental level of like,
oh yeah,
sex is kind of disgusting, to be honest.
Feeling so inexperienced, and I can imagine, obviously, a lack of education. That's probably really scary to have so much pressure on your honeymoon and to like figure shit out.
So down.
Oh, she is hungry. Like she wants it now.
Yeah.
She is all over him, and he's just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. So Rachel comes by the bar after her shift, and he's talking with her about how he just like plays tones and how I'm no Aldous Snow, basically, is what he says.
I'm a musician, but not like that musician.
And she's kind of like really seeing this like kind of sadness and inadequacy that he's kind of feeling right now. And there's a lot going on. He's playing piano in his suite, singing the Muppet Show theme song and crying. And there's like tons of empty drinks on top of the piano. Next day at brunch, the newlyweds approach him. He asks how their evening was. They say it was great, and then it flashes to them really uncomfortably trying to have sex. It
emotionally,
do you feel
mentally.
anything? Because it hurts me. God put our mouths on our head for a reason.
I'm not sure if it's this scene or another one where he's complaining about not understanding sex, but he's just like, if God put paradise next to a sewer, you wouldn't go near it.
But they're just smiling like, it's great, it's fun,
great, really enjoying
it. So he goes to get surf lessons from Paul Rudd. AKA Chuck, AKA Kunu.
God, so good. Goodness, this man is in everything.
I love Paul Rudd.
I like his character too in this too, because he's clearly half-baked all the time.
Half?
No, he's overly baked.
Perma-fried.
All the time. But his character is just like this, surfer dude moved to Hawaii, classic, like, I'm gonna go, like, find myself, and then just ends up staying in Hawaii. I'm a surf instructor. I don't keep track of time, or what is age.
Something I love about Paul Rudd is that he is very obviously not afraid to make a fool of himself.
No.
He always leans so far in.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. And like I said on the Romeo and Juliet one, he doesn't dance in this movie, but that we would talk about Paul Rudd dancing a lot.
I think there's minor dancing.
He's such a goof, and I love it. So, Chuck, aka Kunu, Peter asks him what Kunu means, and he says, he's like, Chuck. So he basically, did you ever do this? Like putting he like found a website that's like an internet database like name generator and plugged in Chuck and got Kunu back.
No, I have not put my name in a name generator.
See, I don't know. Yeah, we used to do them. There would be like vampire name generator or like your goth name generator.
Yes.
So he obviously found the Hawaiian name generator, plugged in Chuck and got Kunu.
Classic white person.
So then he gives Peter a Hawaiian name.
Boy.
P.O.P.
Oh, goodness.
Chuck says there's only one cure for the pain behind his eyes, and it's weed. Do you have any? He says no? Oh, well, let's go surfing. So he tells him to ignore all his instincts and to not do anything.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to jump up on the board.
It's
and he's
the worst surf lesson I've ever seen.
Do less. Do more.
Okay,
well, you gotta do more than that.
You're just lying there. Don't do anything. Why aren't you doing anything? God, that would honestly, if I were to ever fucking surf, which is probably a no, if I had that lesson, I'd be like, I'm gonna go read on the beach. Thank you so much for your time. You did not help me.
So on a video call with his brother, him and his wife tell him that he needs to go and meet people.
Yeah, fair enough.
And he's like, yeah, Rachel at the front desk. And then his wife's like, well, ask her out. Right? And then his brother's like, he doesn't need to be dating right now. And she's like, can we get on the same team, please?
Yeah.
And that's also like a very good like couple
dynamic.
It's like, that is true. Hey, can we be?
Are we on the same team?
Yeah.
Let's have the same message here.
Yeah.
United front.
So at a 4th of July hotel event, Peter sees Rachel and he kind of he doesn't even try to ask her out. You can tell that he wants to. He kind of hesitates standing in front of her. He's sitting at a table eating and Jonah Hill tries to take his plate away.
I just started, man.
And he's like, I just sat down. And then Jonah Hill's like, I'll just go fuck myself.
Yeah. He's like, what? Nothing.
He says, mahalo.
He is very bad at his job.
I love, he's like, just give it to me. I'm trying to pull it away. It's a full plate of food. Yeah. I feel like he just fucking hates Peter, to be honest.
Yeah.
So Sarah and Aldous greet him. Jonah gets on stage and makes Aldous go sing. He, as we said before, he's a scarily huge fan. And I love Aldous calls him an eccentric and confident young man. Which is so accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets up on stage and before he goes on stage, he's like, honestly, I don't like this. This is like work for me.
Attention. No.
Gets on stage.
Revels in it.
Dedicates the song to Sarah. Ugh. Inside of you. Inside of you. Ugh. I long to be. Is it wrong to be?
Inside of you.
Jonah Hill's like singing.
He pulls up a fucking heart-on into his waistband.
Like tucks it up. What did he say? I just went from
something to
6
midnight.
to midnight or something like that.
Propulsive.
Fucking horrible. And he's like on stage. First of all, Sarah's like biting her lip and like so fucking into it.
Yeah.
He's like a cat on stage. He's like doing yoga. He does that fully, his legs spread wide, hands on the ground, and he's like so
gyrating. These people love attention.
Peter leaves. He goes to the beach and he meets Kimo, who works at the hotel. I think he had been at brunch or something like that.
We recognize him.
Kimo gives him a beer and they're chatting and Kimo brings up Sarah Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, asks him how he knew that he had dated Sarah. And Kimo's like, fucking everybody told me. You gotta stop talking about it.
You're telling everyone, man.
Yeah. And he tells him that it's over and gives him a hug. And then Kimo says he has to go prep the pig for the luau tomorrow and that Peter should come and help him and it'll help him take his mind off things.
Let's help cook dinner.
And Peter's like, I'm actually a pretty good cook.
Wrong.
Flashes to them corralling this hog.
Yeah.
Like, and it's squealing. There's two guys kind of trying to grabbing the pig. Peter's got a knife. He's screaming.
I'm sorry.
And he's just like, this is not how, but he's just like, it shows him kind of like wildly stabbing, right?
Went from cooking dinner to hunting and killing dinner.
And then it's just sunset on the beach. Him and Kimo are like carrying the pig. The pig's like tied up on like a stick or whatever, carrying it. Peter's crying.
He's like, are you crying? He's like, no.
So funny. So Peter finally asks Rachel to hang out after work. She invites him to like a bonfire at the beach with other staff and locals.
Yeah. Seems pretty chill.
At the bonfire, Rachel tells him that she came to Hawaii for a guy and then caught him cheating 3 weeks after she moved here for him. She had also been in school. She quit school and everything, and she's just been here since then.
Right.
She likes Hawaii.
Yeah.
She's kind of, she's fine.
It's like she's okay where she's at, but she's also kind of floating without a direction.
Yeah, he mentioned some stuff and she's like, you know, there doesn't have to be a future here. Like, I'm just
It's okay
chill.
for right now.
Yeah. Peter tells her that he's working on a rock opera about Dracula. And then Rachel sees her ex down the beach and she tells Peter, if I run, you run. Do you understand? And he's like, no. And then she gets up and just starts mouthing off at her ex. And her ex is like, he looks like a fucking MMA fighter.
She described him as a boy, and that was a man. A very hard-looking man.
Hard. He looks like he's made of rock.
Or fucked some people up in the past. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Gosh. And she goes full chaotic, just screaming at him.
Absolute chaos goblin. He's like, oh, I know his friend from the hotel. I'll talk to him. Gets punched in the face.
Yeah.
Then Chemo, he's huge. Yeah. Right? He comes up and one of the guys stupidly slaps him. Then he slaps the other guy and it's like a bear with his paw. Just like, he just fucking this guy goes flying. Yeah. Then he kind of grabs both of the guys. Peter picks up Rachel and they run away. Yeah. So they go to a bar called Lazy Joe's and they're talking about her ex and what had happened. And she goes to get them another round and he says that he'll get it. And she says he doesn't have to dote on her. And then he has these quick flashbacks of all the times that he was like holding Sarah's purse or kind of pushed to the side in the background and
a lot of doting.
That kind of thing. Yeah. And so he goes into the washroom and there's a wall of pictures of girls flashing. And he sees a picture of Rachel. Peter brings it up to her and she says that her ex had made her do it and they won't take it down.
Which is so gross. Like, if you want to have your tits out and on display, go for it. But if you explicitly say, I do not want this, take it down, and they won't, because it'll ruin the balance of the collage, fuck you. That's fucking evil.
Yeah, 100%. So she says that she has a surprise for him, and then the band that was playing announces that he's going to go up and sing a song from his Dracula musical.
Okay, if you ever do this to me, I think I will kill you. Kill everyone in that bar.
What makes you think that I would ever do that to you?
I'm just putting it out there.
I know, and this is something kind of I did want to touch on too. Is like, it's sweet. It seems like Peter needs this
a little bit, a little boost.
Also, it's really invasive.
Yes,
and like, yeah,
it crosses a line.
It does. It totally does. Yeah,
yeah, and it's not like
because then he says no, I don't want to, and she's like pushing him, but. From what we know of Peter, he's really rutted,
stuck,
and he needs some kind of a push in a way. So it's like in this situation for this character, he comes away from it really happy
because it worked out.
But for Courtney and I, we come away from it losing friends.
Yeah. And maybe going to jail.
Yeah.
I'm setting this place on fire. Like, even if you like sign me up for fucking karaoke, I would burn that place down.
And she has a history. She'll do it.
Stop.
So she pushes him to go up there, and it's beautiful, honestly.
It's really sweet. And she's into it. She's supportive. She's laughing when, like, it's meant to be funny.
You can see that it's not what she expected either. She's so, cause it's emotional.
And he's in a full-blown, like,
Dracula voice.
Like,
it's getting kind of hard to believe things are going to get better.
I was wondering if you were going to sing it.
You know I will. The whole bar is really confused. Everyone's being silent. A lot of people are really into it. Some people are like, what the fuck? Some people are like crying.
Yeah.
Right? Guess what? I would be.
Are you okay?
If I were in that bar though and I heard that, I would cry. Absolutely, I would cry.
Oh God.
It was beautiful.
It is beautiful.
But it also really gives, you're right, it gives Robbie Hart, somebody kill me please, right?
Mm-hmm. You have a type.
Yeah. She drops him back off at the hotel after a night of drinking. We're just gonna skim past that. He tries to kiss her. She says that she doesn't want to complicate things.
Cause she's like in that power dynamic of like, she's in customer service for him as a customer. Like I get the line that she's drawing in the sand there.
It's that. It's also, his situation is incredibly messy right now.
Oh, the ultimate messy.
And it's all playing out in her workplace. So
exactly.
Yeah, I understand her not wanting to complicate things. As he leaves though, he's kind of like, shit. Like kind of thinking like he shouldn't have tried. Like he's embarrassed. And she's going, shit, like I wish I would have kissed him.
Yeah, cause she wants to. Looks like.
Nobody working in customer service would be that nice to somebody like staying at their place of work if they didn't have to or if they didn't want to be. There's no fucking way, right?
Yeah, it's like different when, I suppose, the customer is asking and pressing for something and you're in a power dynamic of like, but she was the one who invited him out. She was the one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if she didn't want to, there's no way in hell she would have, right? Like, people working in hotels and restaurants and stuff, they don't get paid enough.
No.
Unless she's charging him for the after hours.
Totally.
Which, you know.
She could if she wanted.
As he goes back to his room, he passes Aldous and Sarah on their hammock cuddling. He goes back so he's heading back to his room, sees that, goes to the hotel bar. And Daryl and Chuck are there. Chuck introduces himself again. He has no memory of who Peter is.
Similar lines, right? Like, you can just tell he's repeated the same lines to the same people over and over.
Daryl has a little mental breakdown.
He's not okay.
About how badly the sex is going.
Yeah. He's
really struggling. So Sarah, next day, receives a phone call that her show has been canceled.
Ooh.
That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Aldous says that it's good.
Because that's what she wanted.
Like, that's what she wanted anyway. She wanted to move on into film. And she's like, yeah, but I thought I had another year left, and it's a bit surprising. And he's like, well, you should just go on tour with me. Like, he's not, how do I say this? He's not giving her what she needs in this situation as far as support goes. He's not being bad.
No. He's
also not really valuing her, like, experience and her work as well as being important.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, great, you'll be free. You can come and be queen of the groupies and hang out with me all the time.
Yeah.
And he doesn't see anything wrong with, but she's kind of like, my fucking career might be in jeopardy right now. And you can just tell he doesn't really value.
He didn't ask her how she is.
He doesn't value what she does, right? Also, she didn't know he was going on tour.
Yeah, and the other line was, I didn't tell you about my genital herpes either because, like, it's not inflamed right now. Like,
so it's not relevant.
Yeah.
He's leaving for an 18-month tour in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks and didn't tell her.
And she's like, when were you going to tell me? He's like, well, I just told you.
Yeah.
And she's like, telling me now isn't the same as telling me.
Yeah.
And like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, 18 months, that's a year and a half.
It's also a really good glimpse into Aldous Snow's character where he's just moment by moment, day by day, doing his own thing, not really considering anybody else except him.
He's so completely full of himself.
Mm-hmm.
So Jonah Hill shows up as they're about to argue. He brings a piece of cake, complimentary of the hotel, definitely not from me. They're fully like having this, Jonah's still there.
Just lingering in the background.
And he's like, asks if they want champagne with the cake. Sarah leaves, Jonah sits down, and he gives Aldous his demo.
Oh, yeah.
Peter sees Sarah at the bar, and she tells him that the show was canceled, and Peter lets her vent.
Mm-hmm.
Then he makes her laugh. She says that he was always so good at cheering her up, and she touches his hand. The touch brings a flashback, showing how she reacted the first time she heard the song from his musical.
Ah, so we get a Peter flashback here. Yeah.
And she was really not supportive.
She was like, I don't get it. Like, I'm happy for you, but just don't play it again. I just don't need to hear it again.
She's like, I just don't get it.
Like, and if you don't get it, that's cool. But, like, you don't put your partner down like that when they're showing something vulnerable and intimate. Like,
I really don't understand this, but I want to understand it.
I'm happy for you. Look at how excited you are with this piece that you made. Like, anything other than, like, don't play it again. I don't get it. Like, really shut him down.
Maybe explain this to me a little more. Can you put this in context?
And if you still don't get it, that's okay.
Then just lie. Then just start lying.
Or just love the fact that your partner's happy.
And doing something creative for themselves, yeah.
Exactly. So he has a reckoning of like, oh, you never really supported me. Because again, she's saying, you supported me, and she's using him in the way that she would use him in the relationship.
Yeah.
And it wasn't reciprocal.
Yeah. So Aldous is on the beach with Daryl, and he's asking for advice about making love with his wife. And there's a little montage of Aldous demoing sex for Daryl on these giant chess pieces.
And this, like, is honestly what I would consider, like, a very beautiful scene. Like, he's just getting a full download of various different poses, and it's hilarious because there's just people walking around while this is happening on the beach.
Yeah. So Rachel asks Peter if he wants to come out with her again, and he says that he wants to go for a hike right now, and if she wants to come.
Yeah, gotta get out of here.
So Sarah sees them leaving the lobby, like, together, giggling and stuff like that. interacting with other staff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Peter's, like, having this little community around him.
Yeah, he's having a renaissance moment.
At the top of the hike, he is struggling. So they hike up to this, like, peak, right?
Yeah.
Above the ocean. She's just, like, skipping along.
Yeah.
Like, having
this
no
is easy and fine.
And he's like,
Yeah.
this is hard and not fine. So sweaty.
I think I have a rash.
At the edge of the cliff, Rachel asks him if he's going to finish his musical now that the show is canceled. He says that he doesn't want to do anything because his heart is broken. And he says maybe that it's good that they both got their hearts broken, him and Rachel, because now nothing will hurt as much as what they did to them. And he says, you know, I could jump off this cliff and everything would be okay. And she's like, so you should just jump.
Do it.
Just jump. And it's this moment of like, so he goes in to kiss her, right? Because he's thinking she's saying, just jump, like, kiss
just
me.
Take life by the reins.
Right?
Yeah.
So he goes in to kiss her and she fucking jumps off the cliff.
And he has this moment of like, this woman's insane.
He goes, oh my god, I made her kill herself.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
She's also giving like strong manic pixie dream girl vibes here, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
I am a tool.
I'm free.
I'm free. I'm here to support your journey of self-exploration and understanding. But this scene of her just like, bye!
Yeah. So he goes to jump and he hesitates.
Hello!
And he ends up clinging to these vines and hanging off the edge of the cliff.
Oh my god.
And he's like, I'll just let go. And she's like, no,
No.
you can't fall straight down. You'll fucking impale yourself on rocks. You have to jump out.
The worst possible
And he's
version
like,
of this.
he's just like hanging on. He's like, totally.
I could totally do that. Totally. She's like treading water below him. Being like, you can do it. And he's like, I fucking can't do this.
So he fucking makes it. And then she kisses him.
Yes.
Yeah. So we flash to Daryl absolutely giving it to Wyoma.
Oh, he learned. He followed through. And they're just like, you have Jesus between your thighs. Good Lord.
And then at the end, she's like laughing and like eating a strawberry and just like,
I'm happy for them.
yeah, me too.
It's lovely.
So good. So Chemo wakes Peter up. He's on the bed, surrounded by pillows, completely naked.
Yeah.
Tissues everywhere.
Happy,
I don't know.
happy Kleenex or sad Kleenex?
So he tells them that Dakota Fanning and her people need the suite, so he's got to move out, but that they found him a room if he wants to keep staying. And he says that he wants to spend some more time with Rachel, see what's going on there. He ends up in the room next to Sarah and Aldous.
Oh my god. It just keeps getting worse.
Peter is going to get up on wave surfing.
He's committed. He's like, oh, I've got to like level up. Like, this is the thing I'm going to be. This is my Everest.
Yeah. So he goes back to the beach. Kunu's like, I can see the sadness behind your eyes. There's only one cure for that. So it's just, he's no help. He goes out there and he's trying to surf. So meanwhile, Sarah goes to the front desk and asks Rachel if there's good sushi around, which is completely...
It's not the reason you're going
not
up there.
The reason. The way that Sarah is staring at Rachel as she's giving her directions.
It's like a scan, like
scary.
Scanning for hot girl.
Yeah.
Scanning for competition.
She brings up that she saw her with Peter. Sarah's saying how he's such a great guy and how pretty Rachel is. And at first Rachel's like, oh no, you're so pretty. And then she's like, no, you're really pretty. And Rachel's like, really? Thank you.
Which
love
is
that
such
move.
Like, thanks. I'm going to take this. I'm not going to deny it.
Rachel is not dumb.
No.
Like, she is clocking this shadiness, right?
Yeah. Or like the insecurity, vulnerability kind of thing of like, I'm gonna come over here. It's like a bit of a ruse. I'm just gonna ask you about sushi and get a map, and I'm really here to like get the
see what's going
on you and Peter.
And I think that Rachel is just kind of like, she's just like, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
not
into it.
Playing this game.
Yeah.
And then Sarah starts crying. It's so cringy. But I'm also like, is she acting right now?
That's a good point.
Like,
I think it was genuine.
I was like, I always thought it was genuine. Then watching last night, I'm like, is she trying to make it seem she's like more upset about it to Rachel, so Rachel backs off? Peter?
Some girl on girl crime there.
I don't know. So Aldous and Peter are talking on surfboards. Aldous is just out there. He doesn't surf. He's just floating around.
He's floating. Yeah. Again, this very like image of free, loose, carefree, but he's just a moron floating around in the ocean.
Aldous says that he was listening to Sarah's iPod and that he heard one of Peter's songs and he really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that it sounded like a dark gothic Neil Diamond. And Peter's like, that is exactly what I was going for.
Why do you have to be so cool, man? Damn it.
Cause Aldous is just like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And he's like, nobody fucking gets it. Why do you get it?
Of all people,
Yeah.
why are you the one to get it? Oh, I want to hate you so bad.
But I can't really kind of,
Yeah.
cause you're all right, you know? So yeah, he says that he hates that he's so likable, and he sees why Sarah likes him.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes out that Aldous has been seeing Sarah for a year.
When this hits, you see Peter going through it, like the number, like what the fuck? She lied in
For
the first
a
place,
year.
and then lied again to like soften her image when they break up. This is where you're like, oh, Sarah, what the fuck are you doing?
Aldous is like, I hope this doesn't ruin our friendship. Cause to him, the sex and stuff is not a big deal.
It's super cash.
Which is like, if this is this is your experience, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
The issue is when you are touching other people's lives where that is not their experience. Like, if I am very free and casual about sex, that's okay, but you have to have this understanding that maybe one of my partners doesn't feel that way, and that is where it becomes hurtful. And just because it's okay with me doesn't make it okay for me to hurt that person.
Inconsiderate.
Right?
One of my worst qualities that I dislike.
It's like there's nothing wrong with Aldous and how he lives his life,
but consider who you're talking to.
Consider who you're bringing into the equation.
Yeah.
So that's where that becomes wrong, right? So, and I also feel like that's like where there's a misconception of people who are more inclined that way.
Yeah, totally.
I think there are a lot of people that are poly and stuff like that that are in really wonderful, committed, like...
Because there's clear communication, boundaries, and respect for each other.
I've had friends that are poly, and honestly, it is so much work. Like, just so much communicating.
I have clients who are currently in poly, realizing they're poly, and transitioning to poly. Like, it's just so much... Because you're not dealing with, obviously, you and one person, which is in itself, you know, a feat of learning healthy communication. And then now you're having that same thing with multiple partners, and then the relationships and understanding and consent of those partners with the existence of the others. Like, it's a lot of moving pieces, and mad respect when it works.
Yeah,
right?
It can be when that's something for you and that's like what feels right. Like, that's a beautiful thing.
I think it's rad.
It's awesome. That is so much more than I am capable of. I get tired maintaining one relationship. I literally will be like, was that your stomach?
Was my stomach.
Holy fuck. I got scared for a second. I was like, there's a man in the house. But that's to say that we're chill with it. And we're not saying that that's,
no, and it's like, and this
that really has nothing to do with it.
No, it's Aldous Snow's lack of filter. And I think this is just like, I'm carefree. I say whatever I want. It doesn't matter because I'm okay with it. I'm free and understanding with myself. Who cares? But it's like, yes. And consider how that impacts other people. Like, that's, you do you, but when it flows over and hurts others, like, obviously Sarah shouldn't have been cheating on him for a year, but there's a way of finding out about that or telling him about that in this, like a different way. Like, he just dropped that in his lap without any consideration or any kind of understanding of what that would be like. He's like, oh, well, you got 4 more on me. Yeah. And it's like,
it also does seem like it was unclear to Aldous that he wasn't okay with it.
Yeah. Because again, he's like, my rules apply to everybody's rules.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like I mean, you could look at this situation for 1 second and know that he is not okay with it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that man was crying for 24 hours straight in that balcony. Like,
you could hear him
wailing. Ugh.
So Peter's really upset about this, but this gives him the power, the emotion to fucking stand up on that wave.
And he did it.
He runs straight into Aldous on his board, which is dangerous. Like, that's how people die, right?
Totally.
So Aldous gets knocked out and he's under the water. Peter rescues him, carries him back to shore. Aldous has a piece of coral in his leg. Peter's trying to get fucking Chuck to call the front desk.
Now.
Chuck won't touch it because he's like,
liability insurance
stuff. So Peter pulls this coral out of his leg. What have we if we have taught you one thing on this podcast, what have we taught you?
That I can't do blood.
Oh, no. No. I mean, yeah. If we've taught you 2 things on this podcast.
Oh, don't remove the foreign object.
Leave it in!
that other rule. But like Peter passing out immediately is so
funny. That's you.
It's so me. Did I tell you the story about when we had to call the ambulance with Ty's hand?
Yeah.
Oh my god. A short story, but Ty hurt his hand, almost cut his fucking fingers off. While we're waiting for 911, Ty's got his hand over his head, and I'm like scrambling around. We're also very drunk at this point. That's an important piece because that's why the blood was just
I was
going to
say that he's bleeding more,
he's, like,
right?
Spurting everywhere. And a friend of ours is like trying to help, you know, manage Ty's injury, and I'm like immediately passed out. And this friend catches me, is holding on to Ty's hand. The ambulance shows up right at that moment, and they're like, who's injured?
Ty fully, literally carrying himself, like the blood pouring down onto
like
his
a
head.
kitchen towel wrapped around his fucking hand. Oh my god.
That's awful.
But blood. And this is different blood. Sleepy Hollow blood was like a weird, fake, orangey red blood.
Yeah, this looks real.
This is real.
Yeah, it looks real. I think it's really funny, though, how he pulls it out and it's fine for a second, and then the blood just starts pouring out so much.
He's like, I did it. It's fine. Oh, no.
Gushing blood. Yeah, so he pulls it out. Don't fucking do that. Especially on a leg injury. Let me just say, something in the thigh.
Femoral artery?
Fuck, man.
That's how you say it, right? The femoral?
I don't know. Yeah, sounds good.
Ephemeral? Is that
the ephemeral artery?
I need to Google it now.
I think it's like, femur, right?
Yeah.
So Peter passes out. He wakes up on the couch in Sarah's room. Aldous is passed out on the bed. She's sitting by Peter's side. Peter tells her that Aldous told him about how long they were sleeping together, and he asks what he did to make her cheat. And she's like, nothing, you did nothing. And he's like, cut the fucking bullshit and
talk to me.
Yeah. And she says, you know what? It was really hard to continue to take care of you when you stopped taking care of yourself.
Which is the realest of real, right?
She does get really real with him about what was going on, how much she sought help.
She tried.
How much she tried.
So
and this is where we really get to see Sarah as a more fully rounded character, and she is a caring person in her way.
She's not a villain for being a villain. She chose, you know,
she made a mistake.
Yeah, she did some things as a result of feeling like she was out of options, which is not fair because she could have ended it, but
it does not excuse the cheating. Sometimes people make decisions because they think it'll be easier or it will not hurt, or they're selfishly trying to hold on to something, but they want to have, you know,
she put her needs first in a way that wasn't.
But we also see that she wasn't heartless.
No.
Like she really, really loved him.
Yeah.
And she was at her wit's end, but we've also seen that they aren't right for each other anyway.
Yeah, and 5 years is kind of an interesting time where you do start to notice those things. You've been around each other long enough, but
yeah. And also you're so, like, we saw the house, so integrated.
Very enmeshed.
Right? At least they didn't have any kids.
Preach. Before we move on, there's this one line where Kristen Bell's character is just like, you were wearing sweatpants for like 7 days in a row. And I'm like, this is so funny because this is obviously pre-pandemic by like 2 decades, because like now just casual sweatpants and, you know, athleisure is just such a normal thing now. But I do have a friend who refuses to wear sweatpants in general because he says that they're like, those are not real pants. You should not wear sweatpants.
Growing up, I was never allowed to leave the house in sweatpants or pajama pants or anything. No, even like in middle school and stuff, kids got really into like wearing pajama pants at school. I was never allowed to do that.
Oh, my mom, Cookie Monster pajama pants are a different story.
Yeah, totally, in sweatpants. But it was like a thing. It was like a fashion thing.
Yes,
in middle school and stuff. But my mom, and we're still kind of this way, and I definitely like I see where she's coming from. It's not for everybody. You know, I'm not saying that if you leave the house in sweatpants, you're, you know, whatever.
A slob. But that's kind of the character.
But she just always said, like, when you go out in the world, you know, presenting yourself in a certain way.
Totally.
And, just taking that, it's not necessarily so much of how other people see you, but how maybe you would feel about yourself being perceived.
Yeah.
Kind of understand it. Sometimes I rip to the store. I don't really, you know what I mean? It's like, whatever.
My mom's thing was brush your teeth, wash your face, brush your hair. I don't care what you wear. Just feel clean, I suppose.
Moisturize, exercise, hydrate.
Ooh. PTA, pits, tits, and ass. In the shower.
So Aldous and Sarah are getting ready to go out, and Aldous is wearing this mesh shirt. And she's like, why? I thought you were going to wear the shirt that I got you. And he's like, yeah, I was going to, but I feel like I want to wear this.
Mm-hmm. Which is
So-
like edgy Aldous Snow. It like
yeah, his
the
nipples
clocks.
are showing.
Yeah. It looks
So,
good.
yeah, I'm just saying it's not like this little button-down Hawaiian shirt,
No.
right? Like his
That
nipples
he's
are
about
out.
to bust out.
So she has a flashback of how much Peter valued the shit that she got him. And it's always ugly shit.
Oh, they were garbage presents.
Yeah. But he would always wear
Yep.
it. He would always show it off. He would always.
My girlfriend Sarah got it for me. Like,
Mhm.
he's so proud to wear her gifts that she
Yeah.
got him.
And she's having that. And she's like, oh. So she's really getting over it with Aldous. Aldous comes back in the room and he can see that she's upset.
Mm-hmm.
So he changes into the shirt. He's not understanding why, but
Mhm.
he's like,
It's important to her. I guess I'll wear it.
he really thinks it's about the shirt. The amount that this man's entire night revolves around the shirt, and there's so much else going on, is so funny. So the next scene, they're going to dinner. Aldous is wearing the shirt she got him. He's so uncomfortable in it. He's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They see Rachel and Peter going to dinner. And Aldous is upset. He's like, fuck, this is such a small place. Not because he doesn't want to see them.
they're
It's
gonna
because
see him
they're going to see him in the shirt.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Very self-centered in that way.
Peter, in passing, he says that they can join them for dinner.
And then, like, she would never say yes because of all of her actions up until this point.
Sarah says yes. And as they're
Ugh.
walking, Rachel's like, he's like, I never thought in a million years. And Rachel's like, I knew she would say yes.
Mm-hmm. She's seeing all the signs,
Yeah.
which I think perhaps in this scenario, in het situations, like women clock women in that way, where you're like, I can see where you're going with this. I know what you're doing.
I think there's just an intuition thing here
Yeah.
too. It's like,
Read
she's
the
like,
signs.
not to like paint with a broad brush, but men are dumb a lot of the time.
Well, they don't necessarily pick up on a lot of things. Not every man picks up on everything.
The straight ones.
Yeah.
See, I'm painting with a broad brush. Don't cancel me.
No.
But, just a lot of the time there's a lot of that is, we've talked about this. It's just societal upbringing. Women are just taught to hold more information at all times from a young age.
Totally.
So I don't even know, it's just about, part of it is, it's not necessarily like biology. It's cultural,
social constructs.
You're just taught to be constantly observing your surroundings in a way that men just don't get taught to do necessarily a lot of the time.
I can never say this. Hermeneutic labor.
Yeah.
It's it's a kind of emotional labor that women tend to do, where they're constantly scanning for emotional cues, doing the emotional labor, but it's the interpretation. That's the I can never say that fucking word. Hermeneutic element of, I'm interpreting this for you, so you don't have to put the effort into doing it. It's just easier for me to say, this is what this is.
They're all sitting together at dinner. Aldous and Peter are bonding over how much they hated this movie that Sarah was in. Because Sarah's like all drunk, being like, oh, you'd love Australia. You'd love it.
Wine bottle after wine bottle after wine
I counted.
bottle at
I think
that
they
table.
drank 5 bottles of wine, and it's red wine.
That shit is hitting hard.
Ooh.
And let's just like have a framing moment here. It's only been 3 weeks since they broke up. This dinner is so awkward until Rachel goes, well, this is awkward. And then Aldous is like, well, it's more awkward now that you've said it.
I feel like less awkward.
Oh.
That she said it, I would feel less awkward.
Oh,
after
totally.
saying it, yeah.
Because they're giggling at how ridiculously absurd this thing is.
Yeah.
So stupid.
So Rachel's being really nice.
Yeah.
Though she's being
Sticking
really
up for
nice.
Sarah.
She's kind of, the three of them are drinking a lot. Aldous is sober.
Mm-hmm.
So he's having a lot of cranberry juices. Aldous sees an old man wearing the same shirt as him, and the old man gives him a thumbs up, and Aldous is just like,
kill me now.
So this is all happening, and Aldous is like talking a lot. The way he can out-talk these drunk people is just like, but he's fully not like engaging in this emotional, like complex stuff that's going on. He is like really stressed about
people
the
are
shirt.
seeing him in this shirt.
He pours his cranberry juice on his shirt.
Oh no. On purpose, right?
Yeah, for sure. And so he's just talking about having sex and how he just doesn't see anything wrong with like having sex with anyone at any
super
time.
Casual.
And Sarah's like, so you think that you have the right to just fuck anyone you want whenever, wherever. And he's like, yeah, basically, like kind of thing. And you can tell that he's kind of like frustrated with her. I am not a sober person, but I cannot imagine how fucking annoying it would be to be the only sober person like at a dinner with these three
who are wasted
people. Yeah. Just in those situations in general, like, ugh.
Yeah. Just not on the same frequency.
Oh, no. So Sarah says that Hawaii is a good place for a week, but kind of a place that people go to escape with the real world when they can't handle it.
Mm-hmm. It was like totally targeted at Rachel.
So rude. And then Rachel kisses Peter in front of her and says that she likes living there.
Which was a jab back.
Yeah.
But up the ante a lot.
Big time.
Yeah.
So after dinner, Rachel and Peter go back to his room and they start hooking up. Their rooms share a wall.
Mm-hmm.
So he first pauses to make sure she's not too drunk.
Which I love. The consent
Gentleman.
king. He's like, are you okay? And she says something about, like, you're so sensitive. And it's like, no, girl, he's asking if you're good to go.
It was 2008,
Yeah.
right? So, but yeah, I still appreciate they included that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So through the wall, Sarah can hear them.
Mm-hmm.
Aldous is passed out sleeping. She wakes him up, climbs on top, and she starts moaning super loud.
Over the top.
They can hear her through the wall, so they just start shouting and like slapping the wall. She's slapping the wall. They're just like screaming. Aldous is just laying there looking up at her, watching her, and he just has this look on his face. He's like, what the fuck? Like,
because it's totally different if you're both into it, but Peter and Rachel are having fun. It's cute. They're like over the top
and
having
they weren't
sex.
trying to.
They weren't trying
to get her attention. Like they were
At
just
all.
having intimacy.
And then it became this like a little bit of competition thing, but Aldous Snow is not in on the joke, and then he kind of figures it out.
So he tosses her off, and he says that he made a mistake by bringing her there because he feels like she's still involved with Peter.
Mm-hmm. Accurate.
And he says that all this performing is really upsetting. He says,
Good.
I've heard that women do fake orgasms, but I've never seen one. It really upset me. Is that good?
I think that was genius.
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
There's this whole bit in this movie where Jonah Hill does this stupid English accent. He's like, was that British accent supposed to be me?
Oh, yours is way better than mine. Mine is so fucking bad. Peter, Prob will make me just like do it sometimes because he's like, he thinks it's fucking hilarious. And I'm genuinely I'm just really bad at accents.
I just channel Hermione Granger.
Yeah, mine would still sound like that. I like to say, oi!
Oi.
Or, governor.
I knew you were going to say that! I was literally... I was just going to say governor.
Yeah, that's about it. I've heard that women do fake orgasms, but I've never seen one. It really upset me. That was good.
That was better. You had confidence in that one.
Yeah, it was more of a flow. So Aldous tells her that he's going to leave the next morning.
But I'm going to just sleep it off right now.
Sleep it off now, and I'm going to head out.
For all of Aldous' like, stupidity or moronic or spiritual liberate, falseness, that was a fair reaction, and that's not okay. I see what's happening. I'm out of here.
He understands his own boundaries very well.
Not others, though.
Incredibly well.
Mm-hmm.
So Peter tells Rachel that he really likes spending time with her, and she says that she does too. And then in the morning the next day, he tells her that he really meant what he said and asks if they can see each other again tonight. So we see the newlyweds kissing, another wedding, Peter throwing flowers.
He is in happy Peter mode.
He's holding court in the hot tub. He's not having a drink with breakfast. He's having fun in the pool.
Yeah.
Aldous is in the lobby waiting to leave, making eyes at a bride, and listening to the Shins. Do you remember the Shins?
Oh, yeah.
When two adults will play ridiculous, repulsive games. Peter comes in a fucking great mood. Aldous tells him that he's leaving without Sarah. Peter asks if they had a fight, and he says that, yeah, how you survived 5 years with her. You deserve an award. That was kind of Australian.
It blended worlds. For sure.
So
multicultural lady here.
Aldous says that it's all clear for them to connect now. Mm-hmm. Reconnect. And Peter's like, you know what? I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
He really likes what he's got going on with Rachel, and he's just like,
he would have been frothing at the mouth for this. Like,
before he found out what he fucking found out.
Yeah.
So Aldous suggests that he could have them both. That'd be great. They seem to get along at dinner. Yeah.
Again, a beautiful glimpse into that man's mind.
So Peter goes to check on Sarah and see if she's okay. He's sitting with her on her bed. She's saying how Aldous said that she isn't over Peter.
Mm-hmm.
She starts touching him and saying that she made a mistake. She tries to kiss him. He pulls away. She's pulling on his face.
She's tugging on him.
He asks, don't pull on my face. Please don't.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. She started pulling on his shirt. He's like, pulling on my shirt is the same as pulling on my face. Don't do that. She starts crying and says that she loves him. He says, tell me you're sorry. She says, I'm sorry. He just goes in for it. Starts kissing her.
Like, when you get back into that rhythm with someone after being hurt and wanting something so badly, like, your prefrontal cortex is not working. You are just operating out of that wanting familiarity, wanting that love again. I get it. I've been there too, like in previous relationships. And it's like your need for comfort and familiarity in that moment is just like taking over him. And Rachel's not on his mind. What she did to him is not fully on his mind. He's there, but he's not there, you know?
That feeling when you go through a breakup and all of a sudden someone that you knew everything about, that was with you all the time, or you knew where they were, that was so close to you, is now gone, and you don't know what's going on with them, and you just have this void. When you have that moment of, like, going back.
It's hella tempting. Yeah. It's hella tempting.
It's never the same, though.
Oh, God. You cannot go back. Especially after what he learned. And, yeah. But he did.
She keeps saying, "How I missed you so much." And then she's like, immediately like, get hard for me, Peter. Why aren't you hard?
What's wrong with you? Which is not what a person with a penis needs to hear in a moment when trying to get...
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong? Oh, now it's fully gone.
But also, they were kissing for 2 seconds.
Yeah, and in kind of a state of, like, mournful, like, teary, supportive vibes. Like,
yeah, it was not sexy. Also, like, you know, give it a little rub, like, outside the, you know, warm it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. So he can't get hard, and it's almost like his penis knew that what he's doing is wrong. He realizes he doesn't want this.
No.
But not before she gives it a little kiss.
Yeah. Or 2. 10 to 15 seconds.
10 to 15 seconds of kisses. So he immediately goes and approaches Rachel at the front desk. He tells her that Sarah and Aldous broke up. He went to check on her. Stuff happens. He keeps kind of dancing around what happened.
The stuff?
And Rachel's like, tell me exactly what happened.
What stuff, Peter?
What stuff, yeah. He tells her, and she's like, okay, you can leave now. Also, it's been like a week, right? So, like, she's like, wow, you know, you don't live here. I thought you were a good guy. You did that.
This hurts.
It hurts. Get the fuck out of here.
But I don't need to entertain this. Yeah, she's also doing her job at the front desk right now.
So she's like, you can leave now.
Your guilty conscience is not my priority.
She tells him, being a mess doesn't excuse you from acting like an asshole.
I love that line.
Yeah. It's true. She also says you shouldn't be with anyone right now.
Also a great line.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
He's like, I know that there's something between us, you know, please, like, and she's like, I need you to leave. Don't write me, don't call me, don't email me. Like, leave me alone.
You can definitely tell this movie was made before, like, texting.
We were really texting all the time.
Don't write me. Like, yeah. That's pretty funny.
2008. We were texting a bit, but...
Well, they had flip phones in the movie, right?
You had to pay per text.
Per letter. T9, baby.
It was like 10 cents a text, yeah.
Don't click the internet button. Don't click the internet button.
Oh my god. My heart. I'm like,
close the app. Close the phone. No.
Turn it off. Yeah. Yeah. So scary. He just says that he's sorry and he leaves.
Yeah.
So he goes to the bar, to the bar, not the hotel bar. He goes to Lazy Joe's or wherever it was.
The bar, yeah.
He takes down her picture, gets the shit beat out of him.
Oh, you throwing doo-doo roll at me? He's throwing like toilet paper at him. Nope. And he gets pummeled.
It's like a black eye, split lip, like all bruised up.
Fucked up, for sure.
He shows up at the front desk all beat up and he gives her picture back, slams it down. She sees that. And then he goes right over to Kimo and the bartender, I forget his name.
Gets a hug.
Gets a hug from them. And they're kind of looking at her like shaking their heads like, oh my god. So he goes home.
Which is the best thing. I think he's one of the best decisions. Like, it's my time.
Time to go.
I shit the bed. Probably shouldn't have been like, because he was goo goo gaga for her and wanted to step into another 5-year relationship with her immediately. And she was like, ooh, this is not good. So good call on going home.
So he goes home. Time is passing. He's trying to finish his opera. Peter, you suck.
You should go to the psychiatrist. I hate the psychiatrist.
I'm not going.
Yes, you should.
Yeah. We see him keep trying though.
Mm-hmm.
He's struggling, but he keeps trying. He keeps going for it. He's running on the treadmill. He's writing.
Cleaning.
He's having dinner with his brother and his brother's wife.
He's coming back to Peter.
Yeah. And he's spending the time. He's putting it in. He's not, you know, seeking it out. He's going in, which is really hard to do.
Yeah.
Good for him. So Rachel gets a flyer in the mail for his opera. She's conflicted about going.
Why? Because of the fucking airline prices?
Yeah,
that's a big ask. Jesus. Come to the mainland. $2,000.
She's talking to the bartender about it, and the bartender's like, she licked the tip. That doesn't count.
It definitely counts.
Definitely counts. The next scene we see a theater where his opera is playing, and it's puppets, a la Muppets.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like two people to a puppet, and they're singing it, and it's amazing.
Like, they're in all like this like black
leotard
onesie, and it's just the most epic Dracula musical you could probably imagine.
I would love to see that.
Oh,
I would
100%.
love to see that show.
People coming down through the crowds with giant paper mache like Dracula heads.
At the finale, little plastic bats drop from the ceiling.
Yeah.
His brother is playing Van Helsing, which is great, and he's fucking loving it.
He's into it.
He's loving it. It's a packed house. Peter looks out in the audience and he sees Rachel,
and she's into it. She's laughing. She's
loving it. She's like, you fucking did it, right? So after the show, they're chatting in the lobby. Everyone's out in the lobby, right? He's getting a lot of congratulations and stuff, and it's very like kind of not awkward, but it's like distant. He's like, you know, you came, like, how long are you in town for? She says that it's open-ended. She's checking out some schools. And then she's like, you never called. And he's like, you told me not to. And I listened. And it was really hard. Sweet.
I called once from a private number and then hung up.
Maybe I did.
Most relatable thing ever.
Yeah. So he asks, he's like, you should hang out while you're here.
Yeah, let's hang out.
Like, duh. And she's like, okay, yeah, I'll call you.
No solid plans.
So he's got to go mingle, right? Everyone's congratulating him.
All the accolades.
She's walking out to her car. She's holding her phone. She's like, she's second guessing it. She's like, no, I came all this way. I'm going back.
Yeah.
Peter goes into the back room to get changed. He's completely naked. He's calling her. So she's going, and she's like, hey, they're coming back together. She goes into the back room. He's fully naked
again
with the phone. She just starts laughing.
Stop laughing at me.
He's like, stop laughing. She says that she missed him, and then they kiss.
They do.
That's it.
Love wins in the end, again, for Dakota's movie.
Well, I don't know if it is love.
I think it is.
Who knows what'll happen, but they have a chance, and he's done the work, and he's healed, and she's in a place where she's ready to make some changes in her life.
Totally.
They can maybe see what could happen.
Opportunity wins at the end.
Yeah. It's sweet. They made that connection before, and it wasn't the right time, and I like that.
Me too.
So that's it. That's the end of that movie.
Except, there's this NBC commercial at the end
for a new show.
For the new show for Sarah Marshall, it's the exact same show as Crime Scene, except Sarah Marshall is an animal psychic and can read the minds of animals. I just thought that was like a perfect representation of every NBC.
Isn't that actually a show?
Probably.
Yeah.
Psychic medium, solving crimes.
Ghost whisperer.
Computer shut down. Now let's discuss.
So?
I liked it. Yeah. It was good. It was a great flashback. It was also, the characters were really great, and the interactions with each other, the side characters, like the awkward, cringe, parasocial relationship Jonah Hill character was so good and awful, and Daryl was so good.
Oh my god, yeah. Wyoma.
It was a really neat glimpse at various different relationships, right? Like people's different perspectives on relationships, people's different perspectives on what you should do when you break up and what you shouldn't do, and making mistakes and getting better. And it really did highlight that the healthiest thing to do is come back to yourself.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I love that movie. It's funny. Like I said, it's not like a super sentimental one for me. It's just it's a good movie. It holds up.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. And it's got music in it. Another theme for Dakota. Oh, Dodes, look at you. Loving you singing.
Yeah. I come from a very musical family, so there's always a talent show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lip sync. Let me show you my dance.
No lip syncing loud. Are you kidding me? No.
Okay.
No, everybody's gotta sing.
Everyone's gotta sing. Pull your weight.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, yeah. Are you buying the ticket
To Hawaii?
to Turtle Bay?
To Turtle
whatever.
Bay. In the context of liking this movie, 100% buying the ticket. First class, mimosas, get me that heated towel that I wipe my hands with on
that's
the way.
nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
But you gotta kind of dab it on your face first and then wipe your hands.
And then wipe your hands, cause gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm buying that ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting that Kapua suite.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I think I'm doing the hike also.
Ooh, and
You
the
know
cliff
what?
dive?
I'm scared, but yeah, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
But I'll probably end up pulling a Peter and clinging onto the edge. Yeah, probably.
Nice.
Well, I don't really have oh yeah, favorite character?
Ooh,
Many good characters.
many good characters. I think I really do like Peter. I think he did. I don't often like the main character. Isn't that funny? I do like this main character. Peter was great. I think he showed like a really good, accurate representation of heartbreak and the trials and tribulations that we go through of trying to figure out who the fuck we are without that person. I thought that was really good in a relatable, goofy, sad way. But Daryl and that Wyoma, so good. That was good.
I also liked how we really got a full, as I said, this is Peter's movie. It's his perspective.
Yes.
But we did get a really full picture of their relationship
Mm-hmm.
and that things were wrong for a while and that maybe Sarah isn't an evil person, isn't all bad. I really appreciated that she's not, we're not really on her team, but we don't hate her.
We understand her.
In a way, whether, even though what she did was wrong. So I really like that she's not fully villainized as well. And that it makes me more likely to be on Peter's team. Yeah. Because we're not being like poisoned against, this evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a caricature of an evil ex.
Or Aldous, right?
Yeah.
Like he's an idiot, a moron, and like has no understanding and consideration for other people's perspectives and experiences, but
he's not a bad dude.
No, we see him for what he is.
Yeah. Yeah, so I appreciated that in this,
Yeah, would you change anything?
I would probably make Rachel be a little less pick-me.
Totally.
She gave very cool girl vibes.
I'm not that kind of girl, Peter.
Yeah, you can be different from Sarah, but you don't have to, it doesn't mean that it's more or less valuable, like what you're giving. You know what I mean? I think that was the only thing for me really where I was like, she is cool. She's great.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't have to be asserting herself so much as being, so different from other girls. Yeah. It's like, okay, chill out.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's really the only thing for me. What about you? Am I missing something?
I think this is like, obviously of the times, but I think Peter completely relying on staff, primarily people of color in Hawaii resort of colonized land, of just like relying on these individuals to support his journey. Again, this is Peter's perspective, Peter's story, but like even fucking Paul Rudd's character giving himself a Hawaiian name without understanding the implications of that. Yeah. I think that wouldn't fly anymore, obviously, and kind of, yeah, I really agree with your comment too, like pitting different versions of women against each other in that capacity.
Yeah, that's true too, what you said. I don't, yeah. So true. My favorite character? Probably his brother. Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was so fucking supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also calling him on his shit.
Calling him out and, listening to his wife, not talking shit to his wife. He is on her team. They're a good couple. I like that. But yeah, Peter, right? Yeah. Like, as far as side characters go, I'd say Brian, but Peter as the main character.
Nice.
For sure.
Shall we pick my movie?
Yeah, yours is underneath. Mine's on top.
It's time.
It's time.
Don't sing the song. Don't sing the song. Don't sing the song. Folks, this is my favorite fucking movie.
I was thinking about this last night.
Of all fucking time.
I was thinking about this last night.
This has got to be like at least,
and I was like, when
20
is
to
this
30
gonna
times
happen? I think this is why we started the podcast.
So I have to control
we
myself. Contain. Don't reveal the secret. Don't put it back in.
I'm almost peed just there. Almost peed.
tune in and find out.
Oh,
Holy moly. Like, the air changed in this room.
yeah, there's
bit.
none left. We're both suffocating in here. We just slurped it all out. Oh,
I need a
God.
cool shower. Okay.
My knees are shaking. Oh my God,
okay.
I'm so excited. Whoa.
Tune in. It's going to be a fucking wild ride. I can quote this movie now.
Everything is hard. Everything is pointy.
Clutching your nipples.
I'm
right
holding on. Holding on.
Okie dokie. Thank you for listening.
Oh, yeah. Are you going to try?
Okay, I'm going to do it. I have to remember the name of our podcast, New Friend Cinema. So if you would like to get in touch with us, please contact us at newfriendcinema@gmail.com. Excellent. No, you're giving me the heads up. Okay, and then if you would like to find us on social media, you can find us on Instagram at New Friend Cinema. And recently, we have gone back into the ethers of time to pull out Facebook, and we have a Facebook page, New Friend Cinema.
We are the same on every platform. New Friend Cinema. I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
You fucking crushed it.
Oh,
yeah.
I just had to stop thinking about it.
Yeah, just let it happen. You know what we are.
I know
you
who we are, what
yeah.
we're doing.
Instagram, New Friend Cinema. Yeah, I was holding off on it, and then I was just like, fuck it, I'll do it. So we now are on Facebook. There's a page. You can follow it.
We're not doing
we're not doing a lot, but we're not doing Twitter. But on the Facebook page, I will upload the YouTube links when our episodes come out, so you can find them there.
And we reveal what movie we're watching or doing on the podcast the day before on Instagram.
So far, it's the day of on
Day
Instagram
of.
because
Yeah.
I'm a bit forgetful, but I am trying to do it the day before.
You're doing great.
I'm working on it. I got a lot going on.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah. Oh, and now that we also have a Facebook page, you can totally rate us and review us on there. If where you listen to podcasts doesn't allow for a review, you can do it on the Facebook page. Please take the time, subscribe, download, leave a review. Tell us you love us.
Thank you for all the listens. That's awesome.
Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time. I was thinking, I want a tagline.
Ooh.
And I was thinking of one last night. No, I can't remember it.
Gavna?
Ahoy, Gavna! Smooth sailing out there. I don't know. I had one in my mind last night, and I was like, that might be my tagline. Next time, maybe.
Next time. I don't know what, but stay frosty out there.
Oh.
I do not like that. Okay, bye!
Bye. Can I just quickly get something off my chest?
Do it.
Older than ancient skies, I've had these wandering eyes.
Oh.
But you took me by surprise when you let me inside of you.
Oh, I was like, why do I know the lyrics to this?
Inside of you.
Inside of you.
Inside of you. I long to be, is it wrong to be inside of you?
We need the leather pants.
I have been waiting to do that for 24 hours.
You know all the words.
I've been thinking about it for 24 hours. I mean, I know the first part. I mean, it's pretty short, yeah.
You know all the words of this one of the songs. Go to psychiatrist. I hate the psychiatrist.
Okay, I'm ready to start now.
Okay.